Yeah, well, I'm still relatively new on the international scene. I had 14 years at the AIS, which is Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra, and worked my way up as senior coach. And the opportunity to be head coach was always one of my ambitions. I decided to leave my comfort zone after 14 years and went up to Brisbane and became the head coach up at the Queensland Academy of Sport. I went to New Zealand and coached in the Auckland Diamonds, which was one of their National League coaches. You know, the English job came up, and so I applied for it, went for the interview. They flew me across for the interview, and you know, here I am. The media are right behind netball in New Zealand, second biggest sport to rugby, which is quite amazing. You walk into the pubs over here and it's soccer or football on the TVs. Over there you'd walk in, and if a netball international match is on, they'd switch it on, no hesitation. Everyone knew who the national players were. So it was a little bit of a step back in time, I suppose, with the national perspective, but it's a challenge. And you know, we've got a new marketing company aboard, and they're doing a tremendous job, and I think eventually England netball will step out into the limelight with the media. I think that they see the Super League players and the national players as their role models, and that's so important for us as coaches to deliver the right person out there for role models for the young children. But the opportunity of getting out onto the international scene and into the Super League, their exposure, we've got to put out athletes who can put two words together as well. So it's a combination of everything. These girls become very astute, they're very intelligent women, they're athletic, and they're also great role models for the children. On the international scene, we've got 6'5" players that we're contending against. So height is definitely an area that when I get to the elite level, I'm looking for. However, when I'm looking at young children, 15, 16-year-olds, it's more about hand-eye coordination. It's seeing who can attach the ball to their hand and do something with it with an intelligent method, and that's all about how early in their life are they getting hand-eye coordination given to them? Is it happening in the schools? That's what I look for. I look for the hand-eye coordination, someone who's switched on and can think really quickly, and of course got speed on court, not only with the ball but also with their body. If they're at an age where I'm interested in them, then I would bring them into some of my training sessions. I run on a Tuesday or Wednesday night around the countryside, different training sessions with my national players. And if I felt that they could be included into some of those training sessions, I would invite them in. And then from there, it would then be invited into camps, and then you'd get your strength and conditioning coach involved. So it's just about really identifying the right people and then seeing if they have got the right mixture within them, whether they are willing to put it out and also prepared to put in as well. Typical example of netballers week at a national level, they'd have to be prepared to do 3 lots of weights a week, 3 lots of fitness work a week, whether it's in a gym or out running or cross training, whatever was put down as conditioning, and then the court work sessions. And on top of that, then you're playing. So, there's quite a lot that they're doing every day. They're either doing 2 or 3 hours of training of some sort per day. So it's a big commitment, but I'm looking for those players who are ready to take that step. And they're out there. I'm looking for them every day. We've got selectors out around the countryside. We've got 5 selectors, but we've also got our Super League coaches who are also my eyes and ears and the regional coaches are also my eyes and ears. If anyone's out there that they can go, well, look, Sue, we've got this 6'3", 16-year-old who really raw, but maybe in 4 years down the track she may be up for contention. Yeah, I think you can spot them a bit younger. I just don't get to see the real youngsters. That's where I rely on the other people to do that. I was spotted when I was 12, and I had the will to, to win. And my mum said to me that I came home from training one day, crying, and she said, "What are you crying about?" And I said, "Well, because they don't train hard enough and they're not serious enough." And she just thought, "Oh my God, what have I got here?" And from there on, any time there was a national team around Melbourne, I had to go to see them play. I had to go and watch the elite training, and therefore I just had this competitiveness within me. So what age does it happen? Hard to predict. I think it's a very individual thing, and it's all an inner drive, isn't it? As a coach coming into the sport, put yourself in every player's position. So what if I'm playing wing defence? What are the skills I need? What are the things that I have to do to combat a wing attack? Now put yourself in that wing attack position. What do you need to do, and what sort of drills and skills do you need to combat what the wing defence is trying to do? So you're putting this in the whole court, and all of a sudden you've got 14 different mindsets that you're working on, not only attacking skills but defending skills. Then you're looking at all the different drills that could help those players come out. I think that the biggest mistake I see with coaches is they talk a lot. They talk a lot of what to do and how to do it and things like that, and the players stand around a lot, so they're actually not doing a great deal. When I do a lot of sessions, it's a lot of action and minimal talk, or I'll tell the girls I'll be talking while I'm, when you're doing activities, so don't stop. If you're lethargic and boring, you won't get the message through. So you've got to be really up and motivated and switched on, so that the players are switched on. The smartest thing to do as a new coach coming through is get good advice. So if you've got a local physiotherapist, pull them along to your training session. Bring all your coaches in and get them to do a strapping session, or get them to give some advice on core stability for the players, so they can watch TV and still be sucking that tummy in, which all coaches should do. The Captain Obvious one, which is a saying I always say all the time, Captain Obvious, which is the ankles and the knees. The knees, I think, are being protected a lot more now. Athletes are becoming very strong in their core stability, and we do a lot of work on our balance work. So knees are not as prevalent as they used to be. Ankles, it's a collision sport. It's a non-contact sport. If you can prevent as much as you can, we strap our ankles, we put ankle guards on every training session. Every time they step on the court, they're protected, so that if they do roll an ankle, or if they do have a collision, it's minimal injury, not you're out for 6 weeks. You might be out for a week at the most, or 2 weeks, depending on what level it is. My focus is to get these girls up to the level that they're going to beat the best in the world. I want the players that I've got at the moment to stand alone. So what I'm trying to give them a little bit more of authority out on that court. I look at the rugby finals with the All Blacks, and being an Aussie and following all sports, but I looked at the All Blacks, and they bomb out every time a World Championship comes up. They're fantastic in between. When it comes to a World Championship, the players cannot make a decision out on that court. Under pressure, they have to rely on Henry or whoever else it is to make that decision. And I've said to the players, I can't be your voice out there. You've got to have the strength to go, this isn't working, let's change our tactics. And then have the consequences of me off the court later. But if it works, hey, it works. If it doesn't, then we'll talk about, we'll stick into the game plan. To have a balance in life. You can't just be a sports person, you've got to have a life as well as your sports life. So making sure that you've got a balance within your life as well. And surround yourself with people who are positive and are going to give you the right pathway to the top. If you're surrounded by people who are always trying to chop you down because you've got high ambitions, then that's not going to be the right support structure you need. So support, work hard, play fair, play to win, of course, train to win, because it's easy to learn to lose and train to lose. So if you change that mindset, you'll be on your right way.